Last time, we talked about Natsuno being controlled by the Shiki. The people who know the truth are disappearing in the village. The monk and doctor diverging into different sides. The human side has an overwhelming disadvantage. On the outside, they are being infringed by the Shiki, and on the inside, they are in a civil war. Toru closes at Natsuno's window to keep eating the last meal he has left. But he did not open the locks of the windows right away. He just stood there. While Toru is hesitating, Natsuno is hiding in the bushes watching him. After seeing Toru's behavior, he feels as if this person was just like the Toru he knew and gets out from the bushes. If he wanted to, Natsuno could easily kill Toru and run away, escaping from this village. But every time he sees Toru's face, he can't bring himself to injure him. Natsuno questions Toru if there is any possible way to coexist with one another, but Toru thinks that this is impossible, because one of them is the hunter, and the other is the prey. Everyone in the beginning is not willing to kill others, but it is impossible to endure the desire for blood, and after killing a human and knowing that they won't get punished for it, they get used to the sin right away. Natsuno then thinks about an idea. He says that he will donate his blood to Toru and for him to not attack anyone else. He then says how they can both run away from the village and never be discovered. But the scared emotion in Toru made him decide not to do this. And eventually, he can't endure the desire of blood any longer. He pushes Natsuno down and indulges in his innocent dinner. After 2 days of having his blood drank, Natsuno's body becomes very weak, and Natsuno's mother seems to have the same symptoms as Natsuno. Her eyes are dull, and her skin is pale. Kaori and Akari, concerned for Natsuno, comes to his home wanting to take care of him, but with what happened last time with the creepy child, Natsuno's father didn't allow them to come in. But nonetheless, Natsuno invites them in. To protect Natsuno from being attacked by the Shiki again, they bring and put up holy objects and talismans around Natsuno's room. But although Natsuno's father feels very angry about this, he pretends to act politely and protect Natsuno with good care.
だから今夜は夏野のそばを離れず見張っていようと思うんだ。
本当に？
約束する。家族を守るのは父親の務めだ。だから夏野のことは私に任せてくれ。きっと起き上がりから守ってみせる。
Then, after those two kids left, he threw the items into the garbage box. That night, Natsuno didn't have any energy to get up even from his bed, so he begs his father to open the windows for someone to come in more easily. After his father left, a shadow comes by Natsuno's window like a daily routine. At the end of his life, he realizes that he can never leave this village. On the other side of town, Kaori's father comes home from work. He then meets Megumi and both say goodnight to each other and walk away. But then suddenly, he realized that something was off, but it was already too late for him to be conscious.
そうだ。あの子、死んだ。
おじさまも気をつけて。
Another death night passes. More patients come to the hospital. The doctor suggests for them to stay in the hospital, but they refuse the doctor strongly, like it's been practiced and ingrained in their memory on how to refuse the doctor before. Also, the doctor realized that his wife has been attacked by the Shiki. The doctor seems to be very worried, so he sends his wife to the recovery room. At the same time, the monk's father realized something and struggled to get out of his bed to go and see the patients. After he met with the patients, he wrote a letter to the Kirishiki family and invited them to come to his house. On the other hand, Natsuno's father is looking for his wife, but his wife left a note saying how she is leaving and about Natsuno's death. After he read the letter, he rushes to Natsuno's room and realized that this was not a joke. During this time, because of the many cases of deaths, someone established a funeral home. On the surface, it seems to be just like a regular funeral home for the dead people, but on the inside, this funeral home was just a more convenient way to convert Shiki. Tatsumi no longer has to dig up graves, but the way the funeral home planned the funeral was kind of funny. Since then, the Shiki began to change their target to the civil servant's job to prevent any information about the death tolls of this village to be ever known. This was the reason why Kaori's father was attacked, and also because around this time, Kaori hanged out with Natsuno for a while, which made Megumi quite jealous. So she came to Kaori's window and told her that her father was already dead, and the truth was as similar as she said. In the hospital, the doctor's wife's situation was getting worse. He told the others to not bother him so he could spend more time with his wife alone. But the truth is, the doctor was waiting for his wife to turn into a Shiki. After his wife died several days later, he could no longer endure the pressure of hiding a dead person. When he decided to finally give up, his wife, who had died several days ago, showed signs of having brainwaves. Obviously, her body was starting to change into something. Extremely slowly, some sort of change, different from decomposition, was in progress. Ever since then, the doctor expressed the last of his humanity towards his wife. As for after Natsuno's death, his body was sent to be cremated in a big city. When Megumi heard this news, she felt extremely depressed. She thought Natsuno would be one of them, but she would never have the chance to be close with Natsuno again. But instead, Masao seemed to be very happy because no one could deprive him anymore.
10月15日4時17分。俺はこれから起こることをすべて記録しようと思う。
The doctor begins to research his wife to figure out a way to beat the Shiki. What he learned was that if the Shiki get exposed to the sunlight, the surface of their skin will burn and melt. Any slight injury can be completely recovered in a few minutes. While he was conducting his experiment, his wife rose. He injected a variety of pesticides, pentazosine, thiopental, ketamine, and morphine into his wife. But this didn't do anything to damage the Shiki. After his wife was able to speak, the doctor covered her mouth immediately because any words coming from his wife would impact the doctor's emotions. Somehow, the Shiki seemed to be scared of metallic sounds like bells and religious objects. Perhaps there's something in their brain that's beginning to change. Because the first thing that regenerated was the brain, the doctor tried to damage it. But all of this was not very effective. Eventually, he decided to destroy her heart by hammering a stake through it.
これでダメならもう
When the monk is called to the hospital, the doctor tells him to come downstairs for a favor. When he came to the operating room,
いいところに来た。片付けるのを手伝ってくれ。